Welcome back to Where is the Money? So the money is not with the middle class, clearly. Now the middle class over the last few years have been getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Now there's a lot of economists that have been debating if it's shrinking or not. So let's not even get into the particulars of how many are in the middle class or not. Let's just say that the middle class is getting worse for a lot of people, and those that were middle class, let's say upper middle class, they may have slid down to middle class or lower middle class. And it's getting more and more difficult to maintain their lifestyle in these said middle class. So what can we do these days with the Trump economy, with the interest rates, with priced out of the housing market, priced out of renting, wages not keeping up, businesses laying off, layoffs and layoffs and layoffs every few months? What is the middle class looking like these days?
How did the American dream die? How did the middle class die? I'm going to tell you, it started in the 1980s with trickle-down economics that did not work. They decided to give tax cuts to the rich and corporations saying that money would trickle down. It didn't. It just made the rich richer. Then we greenlit stock buyback. So instead of, when the productivity was going up, instead of giving workers more money, they just bought back their stocks so that the shareholders could make profit and the executives could get bonuses. Then we had leverage buyouts, and the government didn't regulate leverage buyouts, and that was the start of private equity basically buying up everything so that they could make more money. Then we moved away from pensions to 401ks, which essentially just took the responsibility and accountability of the company to take care of their workers with the retirement and put it on to individuals. But we were never taught economics in high school, so how the fuck are we supposed to know about compound interest and investing? But they may said the 401k was better than the pension when it wasn't. Then they started shipping our jobs overseas, building the middle class of other countries so that they could make more profit, destroying the middle class here. Then we started ramping up the borrowing money and getting into debt as a country, which devalues our dollar. And then in 2008, we had predatory lending, which crashed the housing market, fucked over so many Americans. And then we used taxpayer money to bail out the banks. And when all the houses were cheap, the rich went and bought those up. And that's when you started to see the rent start to increase around the 2010s into the 2015s. And then in 2011, we allowed super PACs to exist. So billionaires can now buy elections, and they use that money on attack ads, which divides the country. Divide and conquer, and that's what they did. In 2020, we had the pandemic, which both sides of the aisle handled like absolute shit, shut down all small businesses, all the money went to the top, the rich got richer, they printed trillions of dollars more, which people needed. But what did all the people do? We spent the money because we needed to spend the money. And where did that money go? To the top, and they got richer. And lastly, they decided during the pandemic, let's lower the interest rates on buying a home to 2.5% to 3% so that people could refinance and get ahead. But no, all that really did was give the green light to a bunch of rich people to basically borrow free money and buy up all the fucking housing so that we can no longer own a home. And that all ended in 2021. Then we've experienced 25% inflation since the pandemic. And here we are in 2025, and we no longer have a middle class, and the American dream is dead.
A lot of people can identify with that. You can afford some of the basic stuff, housing, food, some of the basic stuff, but nothing lavish, right? And the extras add up. Soon as you put something in the savings that's left over from your check, whatever you do, whatever your career, as soon as it goes to savings, it goes right back out to something unexpected.
75% of middle-income families say they are actively cutting back on non-essential expenses, with 73% finding it difficult to save for the future.
I have had to reduce all non-essential spending. I have gotten one haircut because it just got out of control, and that's it. That's all that I can afford. I am currently renting, and I would say that the housing is probably about 65% of my monthly expenses, where it should be the other way around. It should be 33%.
The median rent for middle-income families has risen by 18% to $1,300 per household between 2001 and 2022.
And these are adding up as inflation continued to skyrocket and prices from the tariffs have yet to hit us yet. So it's going to even get worse than it is right now, which it's not great, especially if you got kids, school activities, school clothes, they want to eat out, they need tablets and phones, they need all these different items that their friends and peers like and have or whatever that they feel like they're missing if they don't have. And you gotta kind of bring them down to reality of what's important, what's a need, what's a want, and then minimize of the wants based on the priority of expenses.
The most dystopian thing just happened to me a couple of hours ago. I was leaving an appointment in Virginia and I decided to go to the Harris Teeter next to the appointment. I said, let me just run in here. I want something sweet. I go into the Harris Teeter and half the shelves are empty. I mean, the store looks like it's closing. Now, I missed the sign that it actually is closing when I was walking in. So I go to the counter to check out, say, hey, what's going on here? She goes, we're closing on August 4th. I said, oh, okay. And so I go online and I look up Harris Teeter closings, and they are closing several stores in the DMV area. Okay, several. Now, just to give you some context, there has been so much development in the DMV in the last 20 years. So a lot of these stores are attached to like apartment buildings that used to be billed as luxury living. So you have your apartment building on top, you have the grocery store on the bottom, and you have several other retail businesses, maybe even medical offices, trying to create through the development a walkable neighborhood of sorts, right? Now, this would have made sense. The apartments were priced at a price point where these would have been middle to middle upper class people, right? And so Harris Teeter is your middle to middle upper class grocery store. It is not the cheapest. It is also not the most expensive. So what we see in this very dystopian scene is a collapse of the middle class. We've been talking about this is coming. It is happening, y'all, because we are no longer going to Harris Teeter to make our groceries. I'm going to Aldi. The people who even live in the apartment buildings are leaving, they're walking past or driving past Harris Teeter, driving past Publix to go to Aldi, to go to Costco, to go to BJ's, to go to Sam's, okay? Because you can't kill the middle class and then, think that the middle class retail is going to survive. It is not. It is not. One of the reasons why I decided to go to this Beyonce concert last week is because I thought to myself, girl, this may be your last time for a long time. I don't know if I'm gonna make Beyonce if she come back on tour in 2 or 3 years, but also I don't know if my wallet is gonna make Beyonce, because I used to shop at Harris Teeter as a middle class person in North Carolina. And now I no longer am middle class, baby. We are down to that Aldi, right? I had a few final beauty appointments this week. I will call them luxury appointments, not beauty. I got a massage, and when I paid that massage bill, I said, yeah, I ain't gonna be here for a while. I used to get a massage every month when I lived in North Carolina. But when I moved here, I kind of fell off. I was doing like once a quarter, maybe every other month. After seeing the price today, I said, oh, I'm going to have to massage myself. Amen. Okay. Like I'm doing these nails myself. And so it's here. The collapse is here. It's been here, but I think some of us feel it differently at different points, but the collapse is here. And so that was just so freaky to walk into a Harris Teeter in a prominent area. This is not the boondocks here. This is on Highway 1 in Arlington, Virginia. If you want groceries, you got to go 10 minutes down the road to Aldi, or if you actually do have the money, you go 10 minutes up the road to Whole Foods, but ain't nothing in the middle no more.
All the people that got laid off from UPS, over $100,000 they was making. Now, nothing. All the people that got laid off from Google, Microsoft, Intel, tech jobs, those was the cussy jobs. Those are the good benefits, the nice lounge area, beanbag chairs, you bring your laptop, little work parties, whatever. Those are the cushy jobs with the cushy benefits, with the good pay that was normally considered a safe position. And there is no safe these days. We already knew job security is not really a thing, but we have seen in reality what that looks like ever since the pandemic. They're showing you are not secure at your position, and you still got all the costs, all the responsibilities that you already had, whether that job decides to keep you or not. So all of that said, can you identify with anything that was said in this video? Do you feel like the middle class is alive and well and these things are not really a factor in today's economy? Or do you feel like these things are really real right now, and this is representative of a lot of people's reality, whether they want that to be the case or not? Put your comments below. Let's talk about it. This is Where is the Money? Talk to you soon.